in New York, I used to get stones thrown at me. But I understood. Not because the Caucasian people give me that particular privilege and that kind of environment. I am still the son of Africa. And they come first. But I have to wait a little bit longer because, like I said, if 10 men go to sleep, and one wakes up at 5 in the morning, and the others are still sleeping, the best he could do is wait for those to wake up. Because if he tries to go and wake this one up over here, what's wrong with you? I'm still asleep, can't you see? So we cannot curse him because he's asleep. So we just have to unite all of us that are yawning, come together and begin the process of helping those that are still asleep. That is our duty. Those of us that are waking up begin to do things that would complement those that are still asleep. But instead we curse him. We call him dead. We call him asleep. Yes, he's asleep. But what are you doing in your awake state? Nothing. So let us do something now. Let us come together and further this healing process because it is grossly needed all over the world. Not only in the black race, but in the whole human race. Healing is necessary. And we have that responsibility because we know that they don't know what they're doing. You know how old medicine been here? How long? It's been here for 253 years. They're not curing AIDS or sickle cell or diabetes. No, they're not. So what are they saying to us? They just can't do it. So now that your brothers and your sisters, that Usha is doing it, is it time for criticism? No, you can criticize us, I said. But what help would that be? Would be of no help. We have proven to the courts, we have proven to you in the community, all of you who have sent people to the Usha family, they all said what? That's right. That they did good. And they will do good. The Uganda government came and took some compounds and took it to a lady that had AIDS. And they came back and said, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Dr. Sebi, she's up and she was out. She was waiting to die. And she's up and she's talking the telephone and she's doing everything. She's going to the bathroom by herself. And she's doing that. Now, I didn't feel like it was a miracle, right? Because I just showed you how it was done. So I didn't feel like I deserved that, that kind of a, Dr. Sebi. And I don't like that. I never liked that position in which you give me that kind of reverence because I don't deserve that. Because I'm not doing something that you can't do and do it better. It's just that it has been removed from us so long that when it happens, then you want to give that person all kind of credit and then you throw them off the rhythm. Because now that person, if careless, becomes what? Swell-headed. Well, you see what happened? The reason why it is difficult for me to become swell-headed, because see, I like to walk bare feet, and I like to go in the river and bathe. I like to laugh. I like to scream. See, I like those things. Those things makes me happy. And I told the family of Usha at the ending of this year, I would divorce myself totally from being in front of you talking, because I don't like this. It's an imposition on you. It is. It's really an imposition on you for your brother to come and talk to you. Then what is saying about you? Where's your head? That your brother know it or not, you when he's you. No, it's an imposition. So let us all rise together. Not the Usha family alone. No. So don't come here waiting for a big surprise. Oh, we're going to hear how AIDS is cured from a biochemical or chemical perspective. No. It's all garbage. The judge said to me when I was talking about how we cure AIDS at Usha, she said, Dr. Sebi, you make it sound so simple. I said, but man, everything is simple. Everything is simple. Those things that are of consequence, they are very simple. They're very easy. So see, I never heard this before. I say, I know that. Because the African people has not stepped in to world society and represent themselves as far as pathology and nutrition is concerned. But now, here it is. The African bio-mineral balances in the archives of the United States. So in ending our little lecture, I want to say to you that I more than appreciate all these faces I see here. You know, I more than appreciate that, because the time has come in which we must come together, at least in healing. And remember that in healing, the one thing you will always remember is that love comes out of you for everyone. For everyone. You know, like we still hear racism, white hate blacks, black hate white. That's fine. We have our journey. Our journey was always one to give love. I don't know if we're going to be as careless now to allow the foreigners to tell us what to do and allow them to infiltrate in whatever way and destroy our little thing. But it is about loving everybody, including your enemy. Sure, it is true. Because in loving your enemy, you feel no pain. When you hate your enemy, only one person feels pain. Thank you very much. At the ending of every talk, there's always the better part of the lecture. The question and answer. Please, don't reserve your question. Feel free to ask whatever question you want to ask, because this evening it is family, isn't it? And aren't we supposed to hash out those things that need to be hashed this evening? Are we going to leave from here with the same empty-headedness that we left in other lectures? No, we're going to do something now. We may even devise a way in which we could see how we could collect $1, just $1. I'm going to show you all something very simple. $1. Suppose all of us in America gave $1 to the Usha family. You know how many dollars that is? That's about $40 million, isn't it? I mean, behave yourself. $40 million? It may be even more than that, isn't it? So let us say $40 million. Just say $75 million, $60 million. Just say $50 million. And we use $5 million to buy a building, or 2 or 3 of them in various big cities. That's only $20 million. And the other $20 million we invest in entities that would provide the herbs that we could heal everybody in our community. Yes, sir. You see, just how much did it cost each brother? $1. Just $1. I mean, I wish I was Reverend Ike on you one day alone. I wish I could be like the Pope, just one day, to take your money. But when I like to take your money and give it back to you in a very nice way, to see the smile on your face, see what we did with your money? Because you would be administering that money. But we want to use just $1. We'll serve our profit. I mean, we could do it in a big way. Just $1 throughout the United States. So let us see how we could create a network throughout the United States. I just came back from Detroit, and it was a very sad story for me. I mean, I was in the middle of the NAACP annual convention. I took the brochure and I showed a delegate. Very interesting. Yeah, okay. I got in touch with you. You know what he read? Where Miss Emma Wright had sickle cell, I no longer had it. And that's all he said. Then I stopped another one. He said, look, man, don't stop with that nonsense. If you were your age, damn it, you wouldn't be here talking to me. I said, thank you. Thank you very much. I stopped another one. I didn't stop. I stopped about 10 that day. I just want to hear it from their mouth. And everyone rejected me beautifully. The NAACP, the organization that championed itself for bringing the benefit of who? Black people. First question over there, lady. Yes, ma'am.
I have a heart problem, and I have to carry natural wisdom with me all the time. And also, I have low sugar. Can that be cured?
Most definitely. We have done it many times. Next question. Yes, sir.
Is it possible for me to join with you fully in this business?
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a young lady here named Lori, who is the president. She's right behind you, see? That lady right there.
This lady?
Yes.
Good.
She handles everything. Yes, ma'am.
My sister has multiple myeloma, bone cancer. Can that be cured?
Well, ma'am, if AIDS is being cured, I feel that would be easier. Now, in dealing with myeloma, what part of the body are we dealing with? Bones. And in dealing with bones, what is the mineral?
Calcium.
So are we going to use the oxide calcium or the phosphate calcium from the plants? You see how smart we are? We already became doctors in 5 seconds. Yes, yes, then I'm coming to you. Oh, yes.
I'd like you to explain or tell us what you are that
I used to like to do that, attempt to do that, but it goes on into a lengthy thing. The best way you could get that information is to call the Usha Institute or come down there and they would assist you, greatly assist you in giving you a list of things and explaining. In fact, we would like that if it is possible among you and the family of Usha to get together and then we would have a gathering in which we could show how to cook this food quick, very easy, nutritious, and it would not hurt you. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
You see, I accept. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Sebi, is fasting a part of the cleansing system?
Fasting is something that you would do gradually over a period of time. You would learn to fast. You would adjust yourself to fast. I'm doing it now. I have used all kinds of methods. One, I remember the first time I fasted, I went on it for 94 days non-stop. Didn't eat anything. You know, it was 20 years later that I did that. I didn't even do that. 20 years later, I fasted for 28 days only. So I learned that in fasting, you have to learn to fast because the stomach has to readjust. If you fast suddenly and your stomach shrinks, the conditioning of your head will say, I gotta fill this thing back up because it's still empty. But if you fast one day and eat another, fast one day and eat another, and take that for about 7 days, and then next month, you say, well, I'm going to fast for 2 days, I need 2 days. And then you go gradually, and then your stomach have a chance to be shrinking on you, slowly. And once it's shrunk, then the desire for food becomes minimal. I just talked to Mr. Lee. I was in trouble in Detroit this trip because month before last, I was in Detroit, where Martha Jean the Queen, how many of you know of that woman? Martha Jean the Queen, you know of her? She's a woman that is in Detroit that takes me there every month to see hundreds of people. And this one man impressed me very much, Mr. Lee. Oh, Mr. Lee is 87. Mr. Lee is about 6 feet tall and he's slim. And he dresses, he's sharp, and he's clean. And this man, oh God, this man just impressed me. I look at this man when he comes to see me. He said, good evening, young man. You Dr. Sebi? I said, yes, sir. Well, I'm Mr. Lee. But Mr. Lee is a tough man. So, Mr. Lee is 87. And he doesn't wear glasses, and he can read and write very nice. Mr. Lee said to me, well, young man, you know, I have a woman, but I want another one. So I want you to help me with these compounds and use because I want another woman. You see, this other woman is very nice, and I don't want to deprive her. She's very nice, and I want to, you know, be with her, but I have this one here that I love very much, but are you going to help me or not? I said, I'll help you. So when I went back to see this time, I went back to Detroit. There was Mr. Lee. But I couldn't help it. Mr. Lee was in a group of people. I said, Mr. Lee! He said, you remembered me, right? I said, Mr. Lee's sister was angry with me because I gave him all of my attention and didn't give her any. But Mr. Lee is a very impressionable man. He is very strong. Our sister came and said to Mr. Lee, are you married? Mr. Lee said, yes, I'm married. Not very much so. This man is, you know, so that was the trouble. God, he just sit to jump all over me and crazy. Yes, sir.
Yeah, what I'm going to say is based on observation I have recently, just like the European had their several their meeting, the richest nation, and not one African is included in that group.
I noticed it.
Yeah, so what I want you to do is address the answer to some of us who might don't understand what's going on because like here we try to get together and then some of us bring somebody else who don't like us to get into what we are dealing with.
But there is no reason why a Japanese or a white man shouldn't be here. There should be reason, but in us constructing, no, we can't construct with their philosophy or their presence, no. Because we have to separate ourselves. Everything was made separate. Everything is different, you know. You see, they tell us that we're one, right? But is that true? No. You see? I mean, damn, if you put me next to a Norwegian, man, you know there's a distinct difference. Man, what was this? That we are one. We're just different. Not that the Norwegian is less than me. Because I've been to Norway many, many times, and I have been to Russia. I've been all over Europe. But I never find it necessary to relinquish and to compromise my blackness, but I never found it necessary to offend them either. Because I don't want to be offended. So, as hipping us to come together, you know, we've been doing that for 35 years since I've been here coming together. Coming together around what? There have been no coming together in America in 35 years around an entity that's going to protect us, that's going to feed us and compliment us. He was always around philosophy. But I don't get around that. That's why I don't have friends that entertain that junk. Next question. Right here. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know how long the cleaning process takes. I have asthma.
When I was an asthmatic, for 28, 29 years, Miss Mildred Jones that just spoke about, Miss Mildred Jones, she had a machine. She was worse than you. And in a half an hour or 15 minutes, she took the machine out her nose. But I want to say this. That have to be very, very carefully understood. I had 2 people that died after they came to see me at the Usha family last year, or this year. Young woman too with asthma. She came and she took the compound and she was feeling very good, but she didn't come back because asthmatic people does that. I did it too. Once that wheezing stops and that breathing becomes good, we don't want to take the substance anymore. No. The mucus is in the head. Like I said, every one of us have a tumor. And it breaks down. And you find that you're swallowing. Many of you felt that you're swallowing mucus sometimes, draining down your ear. You know? It's coming down from this big head. You know, that cheese and a cow. This lady, this young sister, told me that she was only eating the food that I recommended. And in the selection of these foods, broccoli was one. As a steam engineer, I learned to understand chemicals. I'm a steam engineer. I learned that not by going to school for it because you heard me say I didn't go to school. I learned it on the ship. I was a wiper, which is a janitor. I wiped myself to a fireman and water tender, to a junior engineer, to an engineer, on-the-job training. So while on the ship, it was my duty at one point in my journey as an engineer to scavenge the oxygen out of the boilers. That's the first thing a steam engineer has to learn to do. To put sulfite in the feed water, that it would go in the tubes of the boiler and scavenge out all the oxygen. If there's any degree of oxygen over and above, just, I would say, oxygen in contents would be like only 1/10 of 1% of the water. Because oxygen would cause pitting in the tubes, erosion. So you put sulfite in the water, and it removes oxygen from that water. And now you would never have to suffer pitting in the tubes. But when I would open that barrel, I had to open the barrel and stand away. If I stand over that barrel, when I open it, that's how fast it would react. So what are they spraying the vegetables with now to make it look young? I mean fresh? And this lady has asthma, and she comes to me. She begins to feel good. But I recommend that she eat only green things, and she chooses the broccoli. And when she eat the broccoli, now she called me about 1 hour before that. This happened to me. It's dangerous out there. It's very dangerous. You see, with that $1, we could go back to North Carolina and tell the brothers to have all this land that isn't growing anything, look, fellas. We want you to grow organically grown food for us. Without the sulfite and insecticide and the pesticide, because she's in trouble. This is in trouble. We're not taking care of business. We've been talking. We've been talking. Because those who came to us was talking about Egypt, talking about what took place in Songhay. What the hell you gonna do with that now? Out, okay, you think you're bad, do something with that. No. You walk out ahead and go do something what the Egyptians were doing back 5,000, 6,000 years ago. Go do that. I want to see how good it's going to be. But if we do what we just recommended, each of us give $1 and we start, go back in the soil and grow in the foods for these children, because they're us. And if our health is being compromised now, worse for them. Whereas Brother Sonny Carson is seeking right now to change the food in the schools. Now, doesn't that sound good? Isn't that a worthy cause? Instead of marching in the streets about what? Yes, sir.
Just people coming to you have identified illnesses like asthma or AIDS or whatever. What can we do here? Say, I don't know what I may have yet, all right? But what can we do here today to start the process?
Well, when this man, Martin, came to see me, Martin didn't have no disease. Martin is right here. This big head man in front of you, the man is great man. Martin didn't have any disease, but Martin wanted to feel good. Want to feel, you know, energy back. Well, all you have to do is come and we send you the packages and you will revitalize again, be revitalized again. Yes, sir.
I want to ask you about the cow. You said that's a hybrid animal?
The cow is a hybrid animal, true hybridization.
Between one and one.
A cross between a yak and a buffalo. It's not natural. So I don't know when the Bible talked about Abraham that was killing and dressed the calf. I don't know what they were talking about because this cow is new. You see, how do you know what is natural? I'm going to show you guys a very beautiful scale. I wish I had a blackboard that this thing could go off into something very nice. But we're going to use this line. This line here. This line as the center. This line as the center would be number 7 for neutral in pH. Anybody know pH is? The pH of 7 is what? Neutral. The 0. Anything to our right, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is alkaline.